wobɛte yenka ewo ho wo pese wo hwe ya na ende wabomode akwa abefo ntenta homa no so Peace 104.3 FM Peace 104.3 FM ewo Facebook anasa obeko YouTube na uko Despite Media ubehu yen ewo ho na wahwe yen de ye de ebremu ni nyina enwumrei yawo ensem foforo wo ho ena yawo ensem dada afimu se de free enra ya fiti ase saa no ene ye de kita wonsa aye July ene osana ena ye de ebremu na ensem foforo no de edi mu akotini bi ene se yekopiem ewo Western North Regional adehia wo ho kire se enkukọ mponche ne bo aye de pa na omo moton no kra kire se obi aso kra meto
so my Ghana bedi ya Port and Harbours Authority wonso di ya ebeboa eno tie nyina na yemwa se na ebe na Ghana Port and Harbours Authority ebetimi atumpo na hwan ene kasei
wasi nipa besa hanwotwe ena ene eye Boxing Day no enam so ama ICGC wo makopiem wo wonom regional hospital ho ama wo madidie
adeserade ekọ edi ama Ghana for se bronya brei Boxing Day na ebedi anu no odidi a won kai Ghana for na Kristo su ene ne ban a Kristo for man ndedi se na ebe na o my Ghana ebe fa no ntuma pa edi efra
said ya mekaye no ensempi wo ho ena ye de ebremo enwumre no si aka sebui emu na enwumago bi adaroma
Ocean's Chemist, MTN, High Sense Ghana, Duffel Roofing System, Budget Cash and Carry, Raoul's Pharmaceuticals, any enwumako eso yasene this way chocolate drink enso kan ho bi no hia no eno any wonso share specialized with just special range of drinks. Best point, best assurance you to nchene kan ho bi wonyina ebu achidom na anadwi yanuanum yenu yesin konwa akase bo ye de eba besom wa kenkan for eye me Sadat Mohammed Meni
akosia sapon afa ye boira ensem foforo ni mu a adwadifo a wonum eton wankukọ ena afei wonum eton ponche bronya imu no womo kire se du bronya brese ya ankomu nimsi e beton kokọ ne emponche pa na ese ne bua ye den kokọ no ne bua kosoro ena emponche so bua kosoro na anu se no obi kasa emponche no so unkuta be 1500 eko 2000 wunya ponche nto eti ekoba sei a one more eba beton atofo no omo so meto eti ekoba na adwadifo ne chese womo akodwa aboka na eno no omo chese akuafo no usu a womo kasa hedefa ho enioma omo de ma emu a womo yen no ni nyina akosoro enti womo so de ma womo a eya na ebo no ekosoro eno omo so ba beton a eno so ebo no ekosoro na numpo no omo chese sefa no kosoro chese nkokọ no kra no enya Ghana ha na omo to no omo ko fafri Burkina Faso Niger Mali Ivory Coast eno omo abeton enti omo se sefa no kosoro sa no a eya na ebo no so kosoro eno na omo chese eno pokra na esa akono obi ameto enti enam so ma adwadifo ne chese bronya idie yanto ade
wono mo susu awakase o akase bi ko 25 wono yanko akora ene ya 1.5 ene je market de yanko
wono obia wono bono obia 800 obia 1000 obia 700 ya nene bo ade be bi ona obi we say afi no bibia kwasoro abaza in safe so wasoro ana mbo na so na mo de ba no do ano mo di ko di ba ne waka na male no omochi use safer no wasoro ma sa o de ba no compare this na wasoro kasi so sa watu tu na your person no na sisi dia baso
yo eti adwadifo no won masem enie kwadwo prekese sehwe asanwe so Western North Region and odi nsem yi ebreye
afibia mu no Ghana Port and Harbours Authority mpenifo ene nsentwerefo edi ehye wabun kompo no hwe wonachi baabi asintoba won dwumadi mu wakyekire mu edi ya kyere nsentwerefo da baabi ampuntu osuba ene no so wasagebre na wakyerɛkyerɛ mu edi akyerɛ nsɛntwerɛfoɔ na Ghana Port and Harbours Authority wɔn fa water Takoradi penye wɔda wɔn ano sɛ kwankyerɛfoɔ wura Peter Amo Bediako opanyini afi ni nsɛntwerɛfoɔ di ehia no na wɔkyerɛm sɛ afi Ghana Port and Harbours Authority omudwumadi afa ne ntoma pa die frɛpɔpɔ ɛwɔ Takoradi ɛneɛ wɔn haha na ninka ɔhawe ba wiase nyina so na so be piem wɔ Takoradi na hwɛsɛ no wundwumadi asifa ne ntoma pa di fra ya na tese Nyankopɔn ayɛ ade dodo na enkwan yɛ daya na nkwantere ɛsɛbinom enti aseda no de bi bɛma nsɛntwerɛfoɔ ɛsanse wɔn hyehye ya hodo wɔde bae no nsɛntwerɛfoɔ ti ase no ɛre wɔtimi bo hu dewuro ma Ghana fon so ti ase de yɛ adwuma ɛnɛ Port and Harbours Authority wundwumadi atumi afa ne ntoma pa ɛde afira ɔgyina so no wasrɛ nsɛntwerɛfoɔ sɛ afie de yɛ nimu no nsɛntwerɛfoɔ hu ni sɛ wɔne Port and Harbours Authority beto kɛse na wundwumadi ahodo mu wetima bo ma kɔne sɛ ahodo nyina so na watimi akɔso adi ɛsanse so ɔman Ghana betima tumpɔn a adi sɛ Port and Harbours Authority tumpɔn sɛ Port and Harbours Authority tumpɔn a Ghana fo nyina no ebedi yie
within an acceptable turnaround time, demonstrating the port's capacity to handle high-volume transit cargo with precision and experience. We have been off the radar of the transit cargo for a very long time, but we were able to bundle together to be able to put back the port of Takoradi on the transit map. This is an indication to all economic operators, especially in the transit trade, that yes, the port of Takoradi is back on the transit trail and that we have the capacity to be able to attract the transit trade to Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and that Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, i.e. Tema and Takoradi, are capable of handling the transit trade through our corridor. Tema, for over the years, have been handling the transit, and it's
na enu akyire no ena owura Peter Amo Bediako o kyerem sɛ obepie mu e wo Takoradi Port a empenfo asi oil and gas terminal wo hono mo eno nso abo omudwumade papa ene yanka ne sɛ nkobi pefango agi sɛ nkran ko a nanso ene wonya terminal wo Takoradi no eno nso boaye e ma ondwumade fa no toma pa edifra pa.
Following the inauguration of the oil and gas terminal, we will initiate commercial operations at the oil and gas services terminal to cater for the industry. For those of you who have ears on the ground, you realize that some rigs are coming into the country now, and it is important that we are able to position ourselves to attract, lest we lose that market to Abidjan and our neighboring country. For us, we are very excited that there are campaigns that are going on in South Tome, the West, and we have been having calls from interested partners to use this terminal as a base to support the campaigns, the oil and gas campaigns in the South region. Now we anticipate the commencement of the primary Indian docks.
Na ne kwakwamu no ena owura Peter Amo Bediako wo said to dwa biem sɛ eniema amanfo yi for Takoradi Port no ekosoro papa afi.
Increase of 11%. 70% of this import volume was driven by clinker and gypsum, contributed 2,072,490 metric tons as of November 2024, to just 1.7 million metric tons recorded last year. Yes, our imports increased from 2.5 to 2.8, but what constituted the bulk of our imports was clinker and gypsum. This means is that there's a lot of construction going on, and I believe it is not only directed to the industrial sector of Ghana, the clinker and the gypsum that we bring in.
Opanyane ne etwagu yeyi eye kwankyere for data Takoradi Port no ora Peter Amo Bediako apia dankwa na oboabo amonbo ya no a wode ebesomo yen
yafia ni enchepu ye mantamu na edru Boxing Day say ya aduane no ekoso pa na wonmo enu aduane no eya won madwen enkoso se ye wo baabi ti se enwuma ahoduo bi a eno no wo mu nkofie nti wo mu ntumi nkonko no aduane ni bi ni eno no eye ayaresabia dodo no a ye wa nurse fo ye wa ayarefo mo da ho ye wa doctor fo a wonum ehwe eye ayarefo wo me ne nurse fo no ekoba sei a na omo soso no wo ma no awo papa epebrem sei nipa no behwe na no awo aye den ti ubo so otafre na no asoso a emfa ekom nko a ene Boxing Day obi anu aduane ena obi akwakoto bi mpo no adi eno nam so ema International Central Gospel Church a ewokofo dua Eya osofo panyini a wono na eda apoya mantam na afefra mantam mu. Eya International Central Gospel Church Reverend Dixon Sapon tufo na anu wodi ni birthday yi. Ena wotena si din woni asore ma no wodwene ho se da bi. Esefata se wo mo da yaresabia. Wo mo ye adwuma wa yaresabia doctor fo ne nurse fo no. Esese ye kɔ ne kɔ mo aduane di. Wo mo so anka enye bibi ntia anka ombebe fia beno aduane adi na abra omko piem wo ha wo kasa ene wo kire se ebre bia ye di bronya no na esefata se ye bedo ye ho ye nkyere wo do ye nta ye ho achi se de be ye no bebo afei onyankopon ne do ana Yesu Kristo ne do no esese ye cheche ye nsa ema no ekọ afoforo so na ye kire Yesu Kristo se wo do no a obewu de je ye no ye nsoso ye hwena ya kire ne se ye tu ye hu asi o se ye bedi na chi ne aye ne se de wo no eye no ekoba se ya ye ma wo maduane di ni bibia no esere nko a esanse kom de eya na eya
time I do yes no critical bra yes celebrate Yesu Kristo na woda na ne motivate yen say Yesu wo na wu ye no try yen lessons be brave enti say ye we ya ne ye yama Yesu Kristo bra ye feed the hungry and the sick no na ye yama Yesu Kristo eno ne ade motivate yen and as a church ICGC and so yen social responsibility ne say in a year bia no within a short time bia no ye beko na yakobua wonwa omuhia hoden wonwa omuhia sika wonwa ohia emobia enti ye ba hospital ha ye ba se ye ba ne yenso insura nya media share kakra ne ye ne ma beche because na ye bronya obi da hospital obi okra onye obi mpo na oba besra no enti ye ba ye bonyom ne ye ne omo kasa na fe ye ne omo so abompaye
eni ayati ye Eastern and Volta Regional Overseer International Central Gospel Church Eternity Akan ICGC Reverend Dixon Sapon tufo na ne krakra mu na clinical director woda Epoya Mantamu Hospital no ono so senior surgeon Dr. Mponsa Menu Foster watch se wo mani aso papa sa sorry no adwene won mo ho to mbefa sa akwanya we so aka kire Ghana for se hwe wapomudin ho nsem yo di aduane apomuden enyoma wo mu di aduane a ehye eni aduane a adwo na cholera aba se de be ya enkofo ha bia emma
bia yes adie ewo enemre mu anache so no so wo do manipa adie ya ICDC fo akire adie a eso ani ema yen na yeso ye do mo asepa se na sei no omure mfi ayarefo omure mfi a doctor fo a yen yentumi nko kwan so enkodidwa enko no da na so akokọ mbewe no omo ne yen aba abeche ye do mo ase words ni na ayema nkrofo de da ho ayarefo da ho a e friend ye koso ye because 24-hour service na se de mechanic de bia ye na nyamgopo de Adam ni Ivone be chom say obeka say yenwu bio until then no there amanfo be yare na amanfo yare say so mo kwa yare sabe dem amanfo say yen kai say ye di bronya e wo say hwe aduane bia na wo say ukodi a eye hye wo say ye
eni ayati ye clinical director wo Epoya Mantamu ayare sabia kese na o ye senior surgeon Dr. Mponsa Menu Foster ye kan nyina bomu a ene boxing day yi enkwadan enkono na ye wo mo
afene kwa pro se ya abusua enamfofo ene ayonkofo di ahia odidi nom na wabu nkompa hwe na chi wasetena mu na waye nsiesie kwampo be foso obetima di yi ewa abrabomu na ekobasa no wana wona woni bie enyanka ne awisia ne akunafo ne kanwe akose yere ye afi wo mo enam so ama penyikofa baya wada God Alone International ano Reverend Abraham Bismarck Gazy wode ne mpamfo akwakopie mu e wotema Newtown tema Fishing Harbour ene bia ya hodo akeka ho akoche nnuane e de ama wona woni bie ene nipa be ya mpem 3000 ena doye ebi eso wonso odidie no na wosan ya pomode hwehwe mu famekwa esan e de ama adehye no wona wo cheki mojagboroso wona omumu ayedu bebre na mpenifo hwe na wama omu afutuo wonso so oyare na tese mpenifo ma wonduro no ene dodo na no na tese mfaso yi wonsa etumi ekaye na dwumade ya kire no ena Reverend Abraham Bismarck Gazy woni sentrofo kasa no di to just say ewiase senior God alone international penny fire no ekwa hodo Nyankopon ato wonsam senka won so ye kakra se di aboa na nkoma aga na niam betima afa na tuma pa edi efira empempie no Kristofo e kame akwese ene kakra ba be hye ne kotokuo mu wono nkwa ne nabusua ene omudidie yemma Kristo su no endedi kakra be hye okotokuo ma ka hu ne se nya won nkwa ye yonti ene Nyankopon adom yidie te na wonsa ne so afoforo so na odidi na obi nso didi a ene beboa na asumdwa de be yebo ho de wuro no yensa atumi aka.
All right. So street feeding idea nyamede ma ye say every year bia na ye fam for more money bi dem ma eni je de embro mu fie. On it na do 26 a ye back out e be boa omo money bi na omo so mu se nyame ka omo na nyame so kai omo. Then na ye dey ma society on make kai say asori bi say e ye say and asori bi say ye say. Into the makata so go and say let's create impact. Let's touch lives. No more banka no more nyame som no eyede na nyame so no nyame kwaniba. Ono bana makachiro.
Penyi ko fabaya wada God alone international and law. Reverend Abraham Bismarck Gazy ena wadi ensemu yi etuja.
Eni abusuafo yenye aboafo enkrato mra na yewia na afi yede afimu ensama hodo a aba no bi e de abre yede kita wonsa e na afi osana yede beto amoso.
Happy delightful Jew. Swachilala, chichi soso. Afrana pa. Epe pashu breakfast and was in woman. Joe happy delightful juice against with toast, cereal, and even them cool. A bread and fifi. The most fridge man. Happy delightful juice. One of one. And you be here. Happy medical relaxing way. Swano when you're. Let's say what a chamado. Happy delightful juice. Off and a baby I bring you all day long. One fruit juice. I'm happy delight. One different flavor. Different size. The number 1 letter. Number from NG 150 and 250 ml. A healthy life shows on your supermarket. Happy life fruit juice. Loaded with taste.
Tune it in. Turn it up.
Peace FM.
And rip off the knob.
Abusuafo ya mamo akwaba. Afei ye boy rakita wonsa busumi nimu e wa afimpinu ne aduonu enan kita wonsa eye July sa brede na nsuo taa untumi nko baabia nti ye se ho no hye ho den ensama hodo a eje ne ho ntre ha e wo afimu afi 2024 kita wonsa busumi nimu de edikan enie Ghana mampanyi na nado danko Akufo-Addo ejina SDG Action Summit 2024 ewiase afana mpanimfo a eba ye nyina anim hema wode to anim se ehia papa so obetu anamon no aye won hihye yeye se de be ya 2030 de oni asiso no ebetumi akoyie ede amawiase nyina.
Africa's commitment to the SDGs is unquestionable, yet our efforts are consistently hampered by a financing gap. Recent estimates by the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, indicate that Africa requires an additional 1.3 trillion United States dollars annually.
Sa ebre na mu ena ofiti ase eka se Ghana aba ye ba beto no won tena ho emma manyosem emfa basabasaye emma wo aba ye to no December year etwa emu yi
afi beso ese akoni akoto abade be yi odipa obo abetena makonya no so ababedi made ye ma mienu na titiro hiame ene se abehwe ema abato na bare bibi fefe kan enye ntokwasem abane ekọ akoto nye ntokwa enye babedi ami se de na ha de musmo tiase pa sa abane e babeto enye ntokwa enye babeko
ene ayati ye aye Ghana mampanyi na nado danko Akufo-Addo ne nsem bia wode atudwa July busumi nim no
afi mu na panyina otu franka edema NPP abanyuko no Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ekopie mu ewogumu afete won hyamu sunku bia GPRT yuko ni hwe ya wo hyehye ye ase na Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia say na wuchirim say na be for fa so na yeforo car na aba wona wofuru boat yangu uba ne ne keka ho ama taxi drivers wo bre papa enti obehwe na wahye app bi da ama taxi drivers tap and go app na abo ama taxi drivers nso omudwumadie atimi akoyie.
We share pricing for public transporter. The biggest elements, any spare parts pricing, any lubricants, money, petrol and diesel prices. But you cut towards electric vehicles, sir. Sir, a buono, a beba form.
Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia penyero 2 franka edema NPP amonyu kono man penyero be di chiri na wode sa ensemu etudwa na ne kasa chiri no titina ni de ma GPRT kono na nani mako enso ekasa ya Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia obo na baso
idea hono ya mon ka binchire bank fo so be bank transport bank kura ma ya ka munye bi mai be bank transport fo nko bank amaya na ka yeso ye ni ehuni mi ka so nko ye nyanu se ko jiska ye fediu ye nso ye nyibi na ka yentin fambo adwuma no because ka dada adwuma ye ya ka dada sebe yusu bia investment bo be bia din ati so we ma wa ba dada da bia iche penya ne ya ni sisi
nana ni mako Bresiama openyini ni national chairman oda GPRT Ukraine no ena kuta wonsa bosome na afimu odi sansemu yi etudwa
na running mate sabra no ema National Democratic Congress won Frank Atuni mampanyi ayeyi no John Dramani Mahama na Professor Jane na no opoku agema ene wo ba be mampanyi abedi akire wo ba wodi kan na ono so bonto akopie mu obotia no English amam from constituency wode nananom afarefo di nkomo ene wo ka kire wo mo se sa 24-hour economy na wo mo de aba no ade a eba bebo apa de adwuma aba
yan ha kase oni ejuma ogu ejuma onyi ho ni wadru kra oye ejuma onye 24-hour economy na yareka no obi je ho so onye ye yase ya to uso gaba ya wo ebu so afọ ma ye na nwanbe
eni ayati ye Professor J na opoku agiman eni eti so kasai
na afimu ena wo hempon oda bupe ano wakasa ye editudwa se wo hwem penifo ayi o manim na won kodo se wo gina na wo pro mampeni di bire no a Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia wo gina NPP amanyu ko ni di mu no wono ene wodamufu a na Nyankopon so ayi no so obedi o man Ghana nim no wo boa eyi Ghana fira adumu ekopie mu ewo adumu bupewura gina porto so mienu ena afi mu de sansem no tudwa wa bra Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia probo ene no kopie mu ewo bupe
July ayekita osabusumi ni mu ena epie mu cement fo ene onwonyamfo KT Hammond wo de boso pa na omuko meeting July busumi ni mu ena omuko meeting a cement manufacturers e kire se ai meeting na yekoye no kra ye ni agenda bia ensentrofo ebopni chief executive officer woda won chamber no ano Bishop George Dawson Amoa ema wo kire semu sei kire Patricia Sefa Fisher.
They went for the meeting, but invitation he invited them, the MDs of the various cement factories, to meet the minister at 10 o'clock. They went, only to be surprised that the meeting was a press conference. He had invited press, the media, without the prior knowledge of the various managing directors.
Any ayati ye Bishop George Dawson Amoa, Chief Executive Officer woda cement manufacturers omu echemba no. Na enu achi no, penyina oni amansa di nkita ho ema edwadie ahweye Prince Boache Boatin. Wono so ekasa kire se, sa neoma we nyina no, aya wo mu esi nkonwa, ema ntiase adwuma.
Say yenti na cement development manufacturing committee. Many work as a committee na yati ama yadanedi. Bishop Dawson Amoa eka members of the committee. The committee no esia empre enu se yebeya yi di sa nyama ya ho komo. Ansana yede sa nya yede ekoto ma se bedwani ekra be kwa yakọ. Enti eye yenwa para se Bishop Dawson Amoa ene ne nkofo eka se yan consult
Ania yati ye Prince Boache Boatin a wono na ni amansa di nkita ho ema trade ministry.
Na Cement Manufacturers Association ensem odi pie mo nten so kuta wonsa bosumi no mu kire mu say wonumanyanfo Katie Hammond ne o man si gina ye bia ansa no de airline no kwakoto mra se badwafie se mpinifo hwe na cement bo no hwe ho nsem kaye enam so wonumanyanfo Katie Hammond so de betu dwa se he no bia bia no wonye na offer cement manufacturers association se mo mra na munsia no na ka mo ka se mo ba be den obia betim atwa na dapa bi ope se nya mo pe bia no cement bo no ye bete so
ntiase na udi Katie Hammond atsema se Ghana fo nyina na edi matam se ade na mede bada nya dia na wahu ne amekire no na no point wo ayo obi mo abatana no mo boye poda bia enna yesi atom bio ochina yesi atom bio na office wo na metia mukure ya mbasa aka se na no rio nsma ye nsuma no no ka ye ne kwatena ho ne oso wo ye no wa ye nkoponga na me ya na sa aye ya me nyina mo nsa ma me ada ye se ye di na tem na ye se wa ye se wa se atem die no me nsuro mo ya mo nka no kore na mo journalist wo so moduabo
Orumanyanfo Katie Hammond opanyini adwadie ne mfiridwuma so afo ene wadi yensam itudwa na ne kasa kire no enka ne dom kuma no ba no dani na woye tamalisa temrahye bedwani Orumanyanfo Haruna Idris so kasa ya wo kirim se na Orumanyanfo Katie Hammond wo no utumi nu pa no ene de hinti cement bo obetima ma yate so
in property owning democracy. Pricing. You want to regulate pricing because you cannot control the exchange regime and control the stability and strength of your city. Because of it, you want to regulate and dictate that this must be the selling point of cement. That's because cement affects everybody. And therefore, my request to you is that the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation must necessarily walk back to this house.
Orumanyanfo Haruna Idrisu ene ono so edi ensem sei etu dwa womrase bedwafie na ne kasa akire no dom kese no ba no dani Orumanyanfo Alexander Afenyoma Akan den so kasa ya wo kirim se ella ya Orumanyanfo Katie Hammond ede betu womrase bedwafie no ombu mra bia so na ella no kwa hwe mudin a na enye se cement bo ena na wo hye womrase bedwafo hwe na wonte so enye sana na ekire.
The argument by Honorable Haruna Idrisu to the effect that this instrument has no relationship with the Parents Act. Mr. Speaker, I beg of him, I would want him to revisit the law. I know that he was a former trade minister, but I know the way sometimes he makes his argument. He knows the way he knows what he wants to do with this. I know when he feels strongly about the matter, he will come with the Parents Act and court.
Orumanyanfo Alexander Afenyoma Akan ene ono so edi nsem sei etudwa na ne kasa akire no Dr. Dominic Ayini enso kasa ya wo kirim sei niana na mpenufo hwe animu ene se hunumu fan ebeye adwuma wo sa elayi ene cement bo esore ye okita wonsa busumi ni mu na emum na enye se cement bo no ene mo pese o mo hwe no mo ka ho asem teso wo mrase bedwafie.
That regulation, Mr. Speaker, was Regulation 4.2, and Regulation 4.2 basically dealt with the power of the Ministry of Trade and Industry through the Cement Development Committee to fix the maximum allowable prices. And the committee took a view that that should not be permitted. And so, by consensus, both sides of the House on the committee, that is the minority and the majority, came to the conclusion that we should not allow the ministry to set the prices of cement. So Regulation 4.2 was taken out.
Dr. Dominic Ayini ene ono so kire na adwin sei ede efa ho na ne kwakwa mu no mrase bedwafie chiame Right Honorable Aban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin enso kasa bia wo sere Orumanyanfo Katie Hammond se ewiase biribira mba amane enso ama eno nti no obesere pa sa airline no Orumanyanfo no wontwe emfansen na embom obesa de aba biemu a ensem bi o chorochreye wo airline mu no wonye nsesa kakra wo mu.
To take a second look at it and, if possible, withdraw and capture it in the appropriate language to come within the statutory limits that we have. It's just an advice. It's not a directive.
Mrasebe Jofie Chiame, Right Honorable Aban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, ena afimu kuta wonsa busumi mu wodi ensemui etudwa wabra cement honsem esoriye
na saa busumi kro no mu ne saa na wotwe kro no mu na ayetwema mentwe ekọ na aba ne no na Chamber of Construction for etonsa efre osofo ohwe adwade ne mfididwuma so Orumanyanfo Katie Hammond wakoya na Cement Manufacturers Association for ho no pam wo mu eto ohia nsentrofo chirechire mu die nti opam wo mu.
Nessa chamber for Baba meeting. Me team and ya, when I tell the money I had, I was ready. And I maybe say, making say meeting now and mobile a more chamber of association of construction for no industry for no. When I'm in Mubesha, almost say Anne. Yeah, but minimum more teaching. Hey, now one more there has say. As well, became me said ye. I said ye, and so more habit. Now send your meeting more friend say more, and I'm on me baby meeting. Now, one way meeting no be my best friend. I don't know, you can't say.
Wey aye onunyafo KT Hammond ene nsem no a ocheche mu chensentrofo for the entia Wopam Cement Manufacturers Association every meeting nase
na kuta unsabu sumimu ena NPP amonyuko ni mpenifo mechira National Executive Council no waje Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe manshia South masebedwani etumuo se wombo Dr. Lahaji Mahmoud Bomiachi dom enko December bosume no abatuomu na Justin Kodua from Poncho chorofo Edma Monyuko no kasaya wo chirim se ohwe na po a ni mudu na wogidi se wombo Dr. Lahaji Mahmoud Bomiachi dom a ebeboa Monyuko no
National Council the Brunei friend, the second highest decision-making body of the party, no. Ishemu no, bass no, ne putumpu ishemu. Ninya free say, ye Franka Tuni, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Baumia, say, Wakoson daye, enya nipa, opeso kanoho, as in running mate. Owo, December 7th, abatua ye kwako tunimu.
Churchofo edema NPP amonyuko no Justin Kodua from Ponura and wadi ensemui etu dwan semenya no bede dia fimu a na eyekuta wonsa bosome no emu
na sabra no a woyi Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe na no enam so ema mame Irene na Toshi Ado wobo Dr. Napo Abaso se wonu ayi no no chese ni mu odupa.
We congratulating Napo Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe say Radiama Dr. Muhammad Baumia as the running mate council, so I endorse Napo Ayejuma war party Obia Westmere DMP for year called end of 2024 year and it is a 16-year Wabua Quine People so our party we position now they on the end eti the Napo running mate we say Asimbia Waku who deserve it's a problem being you.
Any ayati ye Madam Irene na Toshi Ado eno achi Peace News ni omanfo di nkomo bisa se ono aye ni running mate no wo mu hu ni sei
Baumia ayade se we choose na ho se ni running mate nimdie no wo ho nti mimi hu ni se obetumi aboa Baumia any MP
concern fata se obi a obetumi ayi na se running mate because oba be di Minister for Education oba education ono mo no ma bebre oba front so no oba energy ministry eno so sama amanfo bisa ne se onye time stable eno so ka shi o ma ka sa yo mo time stable nti openi bi si pa de de so mo yi no as a running mate
MPP ni aye ne se line ayasa time omampani dadakuo free so no obi expect say omampani fufuro ya osi ono ne yemfa ne mra enti say no mama yati ase say line enti ne ya omampani dadakufo mu nyina aboa makufu ado free so anka me for senka ya Alan na edru so but say so man fa Alan dia say di omba kwa kofa ne bia so meme o me vice president mi a me de me mfa ho
wei aye omanfo adwenkyere ewo ora napo a wo mu yi no
na empenufo bo Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe die no Ghana man pen na Danko Akufo Adon so ebo na po abaso papa kire mu se opanyini no ohwe bra na ahonede aso ye ne hye ne nsa se no si ye ntotoye na ahonede aso ye ne fa no tuma pa di fira ya wonu de wogidie se napo adwuma no betimi aye
fa be bia ala onana aga for nya friend napo oyam resebe gani Siasa. Minister so our mother. Oh no, and I you we are a National Council.
Ghana man penina na adodankwa Akufo Addo ne na etwagu ye na man penina ka sa chire no asante kotoko hene na ase atutu abebio enso ka sa yode adesrede ko ye de manapo sesenia NPP amanyoko ni mpenifo nya ne mugidi abonidi no wonhwe ne wa man mpenifo nsa ensifom
me be de makasa ache no wode metunufo nanzo ma menka nchao
Ma Dr. Bawumia no ho so yi wo. E ma no ho so yi wo. Ukoya no koya sompa di na chi na de obekire wo na wo so ye. Dem no waka ne dem na America. Ba ho brase kodi akire na ye ne kama mama. Ya sitie na de ono obekire wo na ye. Ba ye ya sen krofo bi se wani nso ade me se akolai metete no ofie ma hunu sa ade enti na ne ye kasa de ye ka no media mesa wuti sente sa e ma ne nye ho na e ba so anya mitumi enti ubedi akire na bibia ya bompa ye akire na de nyame ahyehye aye ho amaye
Asante kotoko hene na asetutu ababio ene ono so ede ensem sei etu dwaafie mu wabra Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh empinfo da na di ensem nyina no bede di ekuta won sabo some no mu afi emu
na kita wonsa abra na asetutu eka ensem we nyina no ena Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia nankasa wotu franka no oyi no ono so ekire se nani swade hunu no ene Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh de no pepepe nti no oyi no
na me academic, me banker, and me ba government mo as vice president. Me fisher obia obeba buami with experience from the legislative branch. Now obe mami complementarity. Me fisher Ghana henyina se me fisher obia obe buami ha. Me ni beto Ashanti region. Na ebeto Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, aka Napo. Owo nimdie no edosu minino ananti for the last 16 years elinti minimse minino we share the same vision minimse obeye madebede chira yebetimi aye juma
Eni ayati ye eye ni otu franka ama MPP amanyoko no Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na enu achi enipa woyi no Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh dodo na friend na po osraye se obesra asante mantem we ho no ofiri aba no wo mkoto a oham chichemu aduowotwe enum de nko ntoma Dr. Bawumia
Besamo anadia be yi bi hwadi samunua na abao samo anka me ho amia nse Dr. Bawumia ani na nakufu adu animonyama ebi enka me eti ye ba som ye ba kofiesie akochira na nadu na kwakufu adu ne mopo ye ama Dr. Bawumia eneti Dr. Bawumia tibi be chira akase ye to abama ye mpa 70% do ashanti jiro 85%. Outside the 85 no, and then pay for the man master there. Obia wa MPP mu, a osin fie watchi. Obia ne bone, obia kasa etiano. The bibia sinti on TV dan. One kasa osre chi enye da. Eye da min shade pakro.
Eni ayati ye eye Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh dodo na afre no napo. Wei ni nyina epie mu ewo July kita wonsa.
Na wabra Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh empenfo da na di wie ye no ofuru simpie ni apaso eni ade hye kasa no na okwaka say uhwe mmodin bo a NPP abo aban bie ne ho no mu a wabobi eni oyemfanto ho kra ka say Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ne breso no kra no mmodin bo a osagefo bo ye no odi to na nado de ho a otimu se na nado de no awani mu pa ma Ghana fo so mututu no sere ne abasa enam so ma one central amrasibedwani worumunyan for Dr. Abdul Rashid Pepo so ka say awochirim say na pobre we de na nka ye kwan kese pa say nka odi yi ho ano na amanfo nse mo keka say bi mpleduasa na po ani nso ade no nka uyi ho ano na nipa hu ni say nia e twa to so keke na so nsema wo ka ye de a kire say ni amanfo ka no ne kureturudu
opportunity to impress on Ghanaians. We expected him to say thank you to the people for electing him, selecting him, especially Bawumia and the party elders. We expect him to talk about the need for them to come together to fight, even though it's going to be a losing fight. We expect him to demonstrate leadership, not talk too much, not be aggressive, not be agitated. It was as if he was offended and he was responding to the offense.
Dr. Abdul Rashid Pepo one central amrasibedwani enwade ensemu etudwa ne kasa akire no domkuma no ba no dani abedi akire urumunyanfo Emmanuel ama kofibu a enso kasa ya wada de srede ekode ma Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh sensem o kan wanka ni yi onfa cheopa MP Montin so.
What we are saying is that the running mate of the MPP must, as a matter of urgency, retract those statements that he made, because he is basically disrespected the people of Ghana, denigrated the achievements and legacy of Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. At a minimum, I thought he would talk about, in making comparisons, he will be comparing President Akufo-Addo with President Kufuor.
Dom kuma no ba no dani abedi etire odumanyamfo Emmanuel Amma Kofi Boa ene wade ensemu itudwa afimu ewokuta wonsabo some no emu.
Na Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe ekopie mu ewo wasa Memfi traditional area ewo wasa Kropon eno wo atoye mantam mu na abra wone nananu matrankonya ehia no eno o kyese obekoso aka se aban ya wotisui wa yire ne ho aye adwuma papa e de amagana fo se be ya Ghana beko nanim to obesre se omo nhye omo animunyam obenam ahobrase eni animonyam agana wono so no ayere no ho aye de obetimi bia magana akonanim eni nti wo mo hweso na wo mo nto aba ema MPP
Untine wa ha ni na hema ne mpanyimfo ne wasama yiri se macheba nye ne boni me no grade nkomo phone so se ye pedane aye den yaba na adwuma no ususu a na afabe na ayebe de se de nyame nhihye na ye hihye enura and President Nana Adudan Akufo-Addo, Vice President Bawumia. Nyabre tuda say omo de me call Kumasi ahimfi na omo yimi ama Ghana mai.
Eno achi ana man hine wo Amenfi traditional area. Tetrete okuamwa sechi wo bo Dr. Napo Abaso ewo yi ayeyi no owie ye obompa ye ema no esre se wono monhwe ema nkronkro aka e wo senkane aba no so epie
Enye brodi na be kire se fasika je ye ho na amanyosem no se meka krofo ntiase yakoye se yanka nokre efitiase
Nanka ye hwehwe nana ene no nenso Dr. Napone ene baaye
Afimu ena penyina otu franka edema ND samanyuku na yenka ne Ghana mampanyini Ora John Dramani Mahama de na proboko kopie mu ewa denta abato mpisu aso na bre oni ade hye ne kasa na wotirim se Ghana mampanyini na na Akufo-Addo enam na wokika se na ban aye kwan cha ban bia waba ewo my Ghana bakose mu sansem no enya de ye nokre
Adenta ha ade hamwa ene mo akwan ye ba ye boye homodin esiesi akwan ni bi akwan ni bebre ye ho adwuma na enna meka se nipa wa ban mu mpanyifo ewo honne ense omununu omo ho ena omo sere because enyoma ni bi omo ka wonti ase na no omo mpanyin ko gira bebi e ka se omo aye akwan echen aban bia ewo Ghana ha wo de Abraham na be hwe akwan ewo asalibotwe ni adenta ha
Enkane Ghana mampanyini Ora John Dramani Mahama Ghana fuesi ni subiem ene wodi ensemu etudwafi mu ewokuta wonsabo some no emu
na sabo some kro no emu ena ebepie mu se mrahye bedwam Minister of State Ministry of Finance abna osei Asari watch se wohwe cathedral mecha national cathedral project ya nanado eka so obesi ama onyankopon no na watch se sika akomu ye 339.3 million Ghana cedis eti na wo kirechiremu ede ama ebrahye bedwane owo asoko no munyafo Patricia Piagyei abra obisa ho asem ena okiremu sei
made for the National Cathedral by government to date remain at 339,003,064 Ghana cedis and 86 Ghana pesos. This figure comprises 225,962,500 Ghana cedis paid to the National Cathedral Secretariat and 113,040,564.86 Ghana cedis paid directly to the project consultant.
Eno achiri no ena odimonyamfo James Aveji ono ayemrahye bedwane owo Ketu North ono so ebisa ensem ni before aso se na sa sika no mrahye bedwafo omo jitu mu ansa na yede kosa na
From the onset, the Ministry of Finance mentioned that our contribution to the National Cathedral will be the land and some seed money, and this was in the budget, previous year's budget. I can't state exactly which year, but clearly it was in the budget that we were going to give some.
Any ayati yeno eye oswafo wono ewo memu ewo Ministry of Finance abna osei asare wode atu dwa wo mrahebedwafo no anim na wono wieye no ena mrahebedwani owo northon munyafo Sam Okudzeto ablakwa wo che se asemi awo kan pa de ono so afo no National Cathedral sika ekwo project mu die asanya no kura na wo kano
enye sika ni nyina no because $58 million eno na omude to amuna no the world's most expensive pit we are see nyina amuna ne boy thing ubehu wo Ghana just here by Parliament. What a disgrace. Inumguasiasem sika seye proye ne dream ne katasheshe ni nyina
eni ayeti ye eye emrahebedwani owo northon onumunyafo Sam Okudzeto ablakwa
afimu ena fotosamfo onumunyafo Mohammed Amin Adam okasa edi tudwa se wom sesidi na hoode wom abafom de nanso aban ne ntennae aban ne yadwuma papa nanso akame akwa ese edomkuma no omoboapa ena chese ne wom ne animu nyina no omokeka edugu Ghana for sum se na be na Ghana for befa aban no ho abufuo na opanyini gina so osre Ghana for se Ghana for nya botoyemu na se na sitie bia na aban ne be yadwumaden amasidi no etimi agina brane ensemu no be dedi ewukuta won sabosumi no emu
na July busumi ni na ebeto odwa se SNIT fo womo se womo eton womo share 60% ehho asem ebeye deja na womo hotels yasem an womo kan ya Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Resort, Elmina Beach Resort, and Rage Royal Hotel. Na no ena General Secretary of that Ghana Federation of Labour, Ora Abraham Kumsin, and in Central for Ekasaye, Tituni Peace News, watch say no kra de sadie we kra womo ekano womo nchiremu na wode abanesha
run at a loss. For example, like you said, the hotels now on look at the locations. And look at to me the tourists about 4 days before them for Americans they prefer that environment to come into the city. And so if the place is not being managed, they are unable to pay dividends in their account. It means that the place is being mismanaged. So why don't you take the management on? If to me, you have to dismiss the general manager or whoever is in charge. And employ 2 people who can advertise for competent person interview, no one whether he has the competency to run the place. Then you give the person target. The person can be on probation for 6 months or 1 year or whatever. No more target to meet.
General Secretary, Ghana Federation of Labour, Ora Abraham Kumsina Ekasayen.
Na SNIT ene hotels ya honsam sorry ye ewukuta wonsabusu minum no enam so ema wodumanyafo Ignatius bafo wu a okopie mu amrasebadwafie mampenufo bisebisa ne semi efa SNIT ton ano opese wo ton shares ahodo a na hotels ahodo bi 9 dia no ena wo kiremu se enye se SNIT se bimpedwase na num na aban na wo pesi kade atwa na num spededi ena hotels wo mo shares wo ton na emom se ne beye na SNIT adwuma ekono benya sika na wode abo no ho bra enti da wotu sa na mo no
restructuring and aligning investee company, monetizing real estate projects, completing and monetizing ongoing real estate projects, including those in joint ventures, enhancing commercial property portfolio performance by improving the performance commercial property. Mr. Speaker, SNIT's decision to divest 60% of its stake in the hotels is not an isolated decision.
Olumanyafo Ignatius bafo wu awswafo a wode nwuma na apadia so ena no ene wode yensam yi etudwa na ne ka se kire no panyini kwankere for that SNIT adwumako na no owura kofi bosompem osafo mafo enso kire mu se na Ghana fo si ha omani krampo no ase shares ya tompo we dada omonton ye afi no muguso a omudi ho nkomo nti ye hwe na se emwo a obetwam
na July busumi na mu ana ranking member owo Mines and Energy Committee no so mrahebedwo no nyamfo John Abdullahi Jinapo wodi tu dwase aban wo meka nokre na won kam obi anti ase se ye de wo mo ema ye nkane ano ka se be ye betua na de ama ne ka we no mrahebedwafo mo ye adwuma wo moti mrahebedwuma na foin kane anu dumie.
Why the lights are out? We want to know the cause of it.
But the claim by government that there's not been load shedding is completely false. At a meeting chaired by the Honorable Attaché himself, all the entities and the stakeholders from generation, transmission, distribution, and the regulators were present. Officially, it was disclosed, and we have evidence signed by the chairman of the committee, who is an MPP member, that since January, the utility companies have been shedding load.
Any IAT a ranking member, Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo.
Afimu ena ela bi kotom la sebedwafie. Na ela yi nam campaign for hwanimu. Say Article 71 office holders no aswafo eni mra sebedwafo bi ne be mo kwan ye ne wonam kwamu asaren. No da bobo won kase hunti wa wondi traffic na chese mo nese ne no. Na ensemi pie mo ntie so no Ghana for eni wona okabi wom esom tutu ni sire ne abasa papa chire mu se ye no ane se na mben. Enam so mo rumunyam format na JMS akosa. Enso kase mo sebedwafie wo chire mu se we no enye ntokwa we biribira mba amane mba. Se ye hwe na se emmoa wasa atwe e de film sebedwafie.
The Road Traffic Amendment Regulation 2024, which was laid on the Friday, 14 June 2024, be withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, this has become necessary based on extensive engagement with leadership. It is so withdrawn, Mr. Speaker. Very well.
Urumanyam format na JMS akosa ena wodi ensemu etuja. Na nekasa chire no penyina wotia dom kuma no masebedwafie ono anso ene adakulu na sebedwani urumanyamfo kwame governors Abuja echire mu se na mo mrasebedwafo mo besom Ghana fo na afere mo behura tena Ghana fo konso ensemu pie mo ntin hwe senya Ghana fo de abufuo kan ho asem tie ye pa se MPP fo matwen e de afiri masebedwafie.
Good looking on Parliament, especially government, and they have decided to withdraw it. Mr. Speaker, we have no business talking about it, but I can just remind them there are other allies that have been laid that the public is still not happy about. I will encourage them to withdraw those ones as well.
Adakulu mra sebedwani urumanyamfo kwame governors Abuja and wadi ensemu etuja na ne kwakwa mu no penyina wotia dom kese no eyense wo modu agiri mra sebedwani urumanyamfo Frank anodom preso kasa bia wo chirim se dom kuma no bando dani urumanyamfo atoforsen wadi ne ho ya papa asem kakra ya beto mra sebedwafie di ho komo no urumanyamfo atoforsen na twekra tatentententen e de piemu onten so nani anje ho.
Should just be calm. These things happen, and let's make progress. I think that I want to commend leadership. Early in the morning, I engaged my colleague, and other leaders also came in expressed same view that there's a need for us to do the needful. I'm just a bit, even in commending them, I'm a bit disappointed that my respected minority leader had to issue a statement on same subject matter. I think it would have been in good taste if that statement had not been issued. Maybe I'll leave it there. So when we agreed to do something, Kwame, you see, you were a while ago we were lamenting that we appear to have been doing things differently from prior agreements and conflict. But even when we had a gentleman discussion and agreement, we had a statement being issued.
Urumanyamfo Frank anodom pre nsewa madu agire mra sebedwani en wodi ensemu etuja se wanyina no be dead kuta wonsa bosome no emu
afi ye de kuta wonsa no kogu ye home so ye de
FM and rip off the knob.
Ghana this year mamunyana kwa babiem ye to akase bo no so e de mamoa kuta wonsa bo so media no ye de kwa kugu e July ye bo e de wura wo sanabo so me e August emu na Ghana fo beka ya afimu ɛna krataa bi pie monten so ana kyɛ sɛ your friend no ejapade document na wunya bi kan ya na kyɛ sɛ ɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu sɛ kwan a MPP for befa so na Ghana ejapade bi wafom ɛnam so ma Ghana mampanyini na nado danko akufado ɛda no ye ba ya wo kyerɛ mu sɛ babi a wanyina duru no ɛnyɛ Ghana ejapade na obɛfom na saa krataa bi na nenam social media so nipa bi ɛne boapa pɛsɛ ogu n'anim aseyɛ.
We've witnessed how such campaigns can incite violence and disrupt public order, as seen in other parts of the world. In the run-up to the 2008, 2012, and 2016 presidential elections, I was the target of numerous false and malicious stories aimed at attacking my credibility and integrity. In 2008, baseless allegations of drug trafficking were spread, along with numerous rumors about my health, intended to cast doubt on my ability to serve as president.
Ghana mampanyini Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo ena wadi ensemu etudwa na enu akire no okopa na ebi ho entoma ewo atoye mantemu ana kyese beboa na GMPC wonjumedi afa na ntoma pa edi efra eho nso no kasa di tudwa sa ban ne abre sa ho ne di dwumedi o magene mu no ebegina brane.
We are met to commission the new operational headquarters of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, right here in Takoradi. This historic occasion marks the fulfillment of a promise I made to the chiefs and people of the Western region during the 2016 elections when I was the MPP presidential candidate Akufo-Addo. The realization of the promise is proof of my government's determination ensuring that the development and benefits of Ghana's natural resources are felt by the people whose land and sea contribute so significantly to the nation's wealth. 4 years ago, we stood on this very soil to cut the sword for this project.
Ghana mampanyini Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo ena wadi ensemu itudwa afimu ewo sanabosome no emu.
Na sanabosome na emu ena dwumadi ashronko ekoso we eye 12 quadrennial delegates conference trade union congress wonum eye mampanyi kopia ase na o kyerese South hotels ya wonum ehwe ede shares ama enkrofo sa Rock City hotels no agriculture minister ora brane champon dia kasa bebre ne nam ho no osi ehun hye da nhia sa.
Take note in particular of the improved performance of SNIT, which recently announced a surplus of 230 million cedis on its operations. This should be reassuring to organized labor and perhaps bring into sharper relief the unnecessary controversy that was recently generated by SNIT's efforts to offload non-performing assets in its hotel portfolio.
Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo ena odi nsem yitudwa ewo osana bosome no.
Afimu ena Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bomi otu Frank Adema NPP amonyuku no ede na proboko pie mu ewo apa menya krobo abato mpesua so na opanyini ye ne ade hye ne kasa no na wo chire mu sei eito opeso obreki nyina na nisori hunu ne ye ba akopɛ se Ghana fa ne ntoma pa edifira na nyakopo ye wona dom no otimi breki eito obehwa hunu se kura yodie ontoto nase na afa nso nyina monkane abo betusu hu na de komusane abre Ghana fo.
The new policies, the new technologies, district mechanization centers, the agricultural enclaves, so with irrigation, with processing, with roads network, because agri 2.1, the road network must be good. And yes, I am back.
Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia ena wasana busumi ni mwadi na nichiri mu ewo apa menya kroba bato mpiso aswa wade ensemu yi etudwa.
Na enkare mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ene Professor Jane na no opoku adjumanso womdo omani echre commander na abra omukopie mu ewo empotemu ho no ena wode tudwa se commander sugar factory no nyame ya adomo a o hyebo oba obesa ama na pagya bio.
NDC presented to you today when Nana worked with me in government. But before then, us in NDC have never ever left
Central Region out when we have been in government. I wouldn't say we made Central Region heaven, but we left significant additions to the infrastructure of this region. In the 8 years of Pastor Mills and my administration, we built the Commander Sugar Factory.
Any ayati ye enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama. I ne ye say omeye mampanyi na no achi na Professor J na no pokwajiman so ka kire fifiri mantem nananom ene ahema a won mo ho se wo nta na chi na wo mo emfa NDC mra no na beboa ama wo mo ehaw no dodo no a obetumi ayi afiri ho.
Mama Raka or Mummy said, if you were more than what's your office? We are as the lady small for you. You are no baby for much and sure for it be hard. And you may see one mountain. If you are one, we are not
Professor Jane na no pokwajiman yete se okasan.
Afimu ana office of the special prosecutor eye hwehwemu edefa airbus kataise dwirimbia na enkane Ghana mampanyin Owura John Dramani Mahama ne din efemfam ho na wes hwehwemu na kire no okirem se enkane Ghana mampanyin wonyamfum so bia ewo airbus na kataise dwirim ne ho sansem bia SPM monten so enam so ma enkane Ghana mampanyin kasa ya okirem so ne de ogidie se wonyamfum so bia na kamia kwese NPP4 ene boa papa se ogu nanimu ase.
We in the NDC do not place ourselves above society. We are humble and honest enough to submit ourselves to investigative bodies if a basis for it arises. Relatedly, I've been out of office for more than 7 years and 7 months. No allegations of wrongdoing have been proven against me, including the baseless Airbus brouhaha that this government attempted to clothe me with. Once again today, I say it's a pleasant feeling to stand vindicated.
Ankane Ghana mampanyin Owura John Dramani Mahama enwode ensemu etudwa na afia mu so no Dr. Lahaji Mahmoud Bawumia kase wodi tudwa se ne Ghana yetia ye ya reserves enya gold by 65.4 tons edie betimi aboa na yesidi no ahode atima bamu.
All the measures that we are putting in place to revamp the licensing regime. We will have also a minerals development bank to help the mineral sector. And so I would like to propose a new foreign exchange regime management architect for Ghana next year, in which the value of the city will be anchored to gold. This is where we are going. I want us to move our foreign exchange management because we need an anchor, and I believe that the best anchor for the city, I'm proposing a framework. We'll discuss, of course, with the central bank, and we'll see where.
Penya otu franka de ma NPP amonyuku ne yo mampanyina be de akiri Dr. Lahaji Mahmoud Bawumia enafi ewo sanabusumi mu wodi sansebo nyina no etudwa.
Na ni otu franka ema NDC amanyokuo no a ene yayi no Owura John Dramani Mahama eyo sanabusumi na mu ena wode sobo bo na nado danko akufuado se eye nanado na no na akoyi nika efa Burkina Faso hu a okogina ho kan se ane Burkina Faso fo ma han Russia fo bi mercenaries bi a womo ene Wagner forces no womo akwakọ sensan krata sa asem no ene nam so ama asset tension bi aba ye ne Burkina Faso fo entem.
When your neighbor's beard is on fire, you fetch water and put it by your beard because it can spread to your own beard. And so we know what is happening in Burkina Faso. Indeed, we should be working closer with our comrades in Burkina Faso. Unfortunately, this government has created some tension between us and Burkina Faso because our president went and opened his mouth too wide. You saw the video. He went and was doing conconsa about your neighbor. We all are here. We are suffering. America called you small. And you are so excited.
Eno achi ana mampanyi ayayi no John Dramani Mahama sabre no sanabusumi nim woni sentrofo hia ye kirekire omumu se mo kai se na meti akonwa so nkrofo se mama enkonfam atutuko ayi Burkina enye nukreda enkonfam baabi adom be kono hwa na omuto omunko baabi anemum wo kire sa asem nimu
It's one of the SADA projects, and it was supposed to create an incubator for guinea fowls. And so the incubation plant was built, the incubators were put there, and they were going to incubate the eggs and raise day-old guinea fowl chicks for distribution to households. 100 chicks, and you will be giving the poultry house and shown how to raise the guinea fowls. And then there was supposed to be a processing plant so that the guinea fowls will be bought off the households and processed, and they will put them in frozen trucks.
Mampenyi ayayi no John Dramani Mahama osana busumi ni mu ana opetumi no ensem ni bi one nsentwerofo hia ayechechire mu bi eno no
na afia mu no na penyini obo enka ne ga na mampenyini owura John Dramani Mahama chidom ekwa abato mu Professor J na opoku agiman wobo NPP abonyuko no sobo se Ghana ye economy na atiti se kontebe na ne ye po ye ho ye hu asene mu no ye opobi abo no sobo a ye mfombo NPP mpenu fo sika kwa bia hodo ogu no eka ho bi ene ye ne
enka no na nka microfinance for na nkakra wo mo boaye bra pani ba ye osis bank no so megu no na echa say no so ye bre wo ho enti na ye nya den na ye ko obi obobosia ho o ma 5000 osis san fa 5000 ka ho bra na me ade na me to odwom ho amanya san fa so no enti ebedu bebi na ye den ye ntina fie ebusia for me boa na ye ntimi ntina fie ye ntimi majom.
Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman enwodi ensemu itu je wabra no obo apro ewo enkramantam mu na enu akire no enka ne Ghana mampanyini a Ghana fo asini so owura John Dramani Mahama nso kase a wo kirem se Ghana mampanyini ase Ghana fo ni mu ntia hwe na num ho no mo nso fa mepefo mampanyini mu akoye a waka ade hye ne se mokra se mo nto aba mame enti mo aye lucky nyesa anka mamba afi nso ohene bi ka se o mampanyini ye school ni be wie o mampanyini so ohene ne Paul no ankonko wie na eno na enka ne Ghana mampanyini tirim se ensem a Ghana mampanyini kan nyina no edi adanse so ni pepa so bebo Ghana fo ensem nyina no be dedi ewo sanabo sumini mu afi emu
osanabo sumini mu ena mampanyi Nanado Danko Akufo adoko bie eye Bolgatanga Regional Hospital ano ka kire adehye omo ho se wonum ebekoso ama mpuntu akoso wo man afa na nyina.
In the progress we have made, we should have a well thought out maintenance plan in place. And I urge the management of the Bolgatanga Regional Hospital to implement a preventative maintenance plan to ensure the long-term use of this facility. Let me take this opportunity to highlight some of the main achievements of the Akufo-Addo-led MPP government in the health sector. My government since 2017 has recruited 202,527 medical personnel. These include 12,132 medical officers, house officers and specialists, 165,122 diploma and degree nurses and
Ani ayati ye aye Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo Addo na osana bosumi na mu na ni otu frank ama NDC amanyoku no ora John Dramani Mahama ne ye no so meye mampanyi wo ka edecha adehye amu akati north ewo framantam se hwe suban etise nyinsen wo ye dan ya ebepie Dr. Matthew Opoku Brempre wo se ensem bia okabia no na danko a
going to chop bar, eating with people, eating fufu, pounding fufu. They go to grinding mill and be grinding people's flour. And so Ghanaians said, oh, these are some humble, meek, quiet, respectful, honorable people. And so Ghanaians said, let's give them a chance. And that was the mistake we made. Because they were wolves in sheep clothing.
Wei aye mampanyi aye John Dramani Mahama osanabu sumini mu oko ento abono enode ntamitu edwa
afimu ena penyina otu frank adema NPP Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bomia ede na proboko pie mu ewo achimkade openyine ka semene wo chirim se free senior high school se NPP dia ba no aboa Ghana papa ene fie bia mu enya krachini wo ho
senior high school. And then Accra, housemaid, or school, housemaid, one schools. And then clear sectors of their own possible. And then they say, And then you are talking computer tablets, 900,000. You are registered every single senior high school student.
Penya otu Frank Adema NPP amanyuko no mampanyina be de chiri Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia and wadi ensemu etudwa na bra na NPP amanyuko no ni so de hunu manifesto wode na die ewa to emantamu no Ghana mampanyina na adon so kasa ya Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia wo chirem say efiri se wone ne ye adwuma be ye mfinse dunsi antamu no Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ohunu ho mfom so ba akumpo.
Nobody in this country better placed to testify about the capacity of our presidential ticket than me, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I am the best placed person to give the testimony, and clearly also the best place to appeal to the people of Ghana to give the stewardship of this country for the next 8 years to Dr. Bawumia and his running mate, Napul. 16 years ago, the Mamadou Bawumia and I first met and decided to join our lives together. I can say that there's not one day that I've regretted joining my life to his and his to me. As well as in government, he has been a model of loyalty, of honesty, of dedication, and of patriotism. This is a man who lives and breathes Ghana. Ever commitments is made before you and before the people of Ghana. I can put my hand on my heart and say he will deliver on each one of those commitments.
Ghana mampanyi na Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ene wadi ensemu etudwa na we nyina no bede dia fimu a na eye wasana abosome no emu osana abosome ni mu na nkrofo fiti ase kasa yese aban sase pa sede aban mpanimfo efum nya asem ketua ehwa na asuye hwe ensase no oba de no ode adom yen eba ye ebeka ase o enye no kreda enu nti wosoafo a wo ho nmunyamfo Samuel Abujinapo obeka ase enye no kreda.
Sold some of our public lands, which has resulted in some misunderstanding and litigation with some public institutions, have had a temerity to turn around to accuse this government of the very acts they perpetuated. Fortunately, the records are still intact, and we know who sold these lands, which have been repackaged as evidence of state capture. The allegations of state capture and the narrative that this government is indiscriminately selling public lands are all palpably false, without merit, and obviously actuated by political considerations given the heated political season we find ourselves. Indeed, the evidence shows that the Akufo-Addo government has been meticulous in protecting public lands in the public interest. What is the role of the Akufo-Addo government?
Also for his as no bad any more the Adom ye Samuel Abujinapo and yet so Kasana.
Masifu Jefie Chairman Right Honorable Aban Sumana Kenford bag be nibre isui ono bo Ghana fa no maso oba affirmative action bill a ebo ne bo machi dom ne titiru ene amanyosemu no behwe hunu se ebeji atumu na emanso atimi atumpon ampeni nuane ampa openyini bai no oboaye ema affirmative action bill no ya giatum ema ne be yemra na wokasa no na wo chire mu se bo hye wode hye Ghana fo no ene wadi sui no behwe hunu se ema ebetumpon ewo amanyosemu sebinyina no be dedi wa afimu a na eye wosana abosome no emu na abra Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe ebeka Dr. Kwame Nkrumah asema Ghana for train srene abasa nyina no okopie mu ewo atoye mantamu eye Western Nzema traditional area enam soma awulai ano ajayi ekire se debi Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe asem no kan no de ohunu ade bia eha ewo eho
na mafejo kan be ye politics Obareke sa betebechi nenya modern dela oka okrenuha ke Western Nzema state ye ejime yere parity imoti ama ogarkia nania azuama yelele muara oni manzria bakura be ko yare ka biara amedi ama kama hire mama ya di obulareke
Ani ayati ye my here or Western is my traditional area. I will know Ajayi. Now I know actually no Vice President one two frank ama MPP amanyoku no Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia kopiem sa womu adu agiri ma no kire se womu ba be investment bebre wo ye nketeke ekwan no ma no so de nsem yitudwa.
One of my projects are me ye power Ghana, ye railway projects. Railway, it's a game changer for Ghana. Especially two main railways, Eastern Line, the Western Line. We know Eastern Line and Western Line railway program. No, be me mini sihopa. Na ya program railways no na ebebuaye nyina tra
eni ayati ye the two frank ama MPP amanyoku no Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia
na afimu beye wasana abusumi ho no mo baabi ana National Peace Council paying for years send e beye na December abusumi about 20 no Ghana fo nyina benya hodaso na rehemu se be wiasum dwenti amunyoku ahudo mu paying for one sa enhye asumdwenti asiapamase enam so matitina ni de ma NDC amanyuku no Johnson na sedun katia be ka se NDC de enjase apam no won fa won san hyase ne okina so ka ho.
It doesn't mean anything to us because all previous declarations have not been adhered to and those declarations have not solved any problem. If you allow violence to be brewed, you have violence whether you sign declaration or not. And so that is why for more than a year ago, I started talking about the need for us to remove the building blocks for violent elections. So at any stage, when something is happening, I call on those who in future will call us to sign declaration, to speak up so that we stop this particular thing from happening.
Ora Johnson asiedu enketia titinani edema NDC amonyuku no ene odi ensemu etudwa na nekasa akire no ya na titina ni de National Peace Council Reverend Dr. Ernest Adujemfinso kasa ya wo kire mu se won tin na eni sisi won san ni de na so behwe hu se one wo mo besi nkonwa na wakrokro mo na brepam no wode won sa ahya sumdwenti ahya pam no ase
say ya tinia General Akan ye de ye ne party fo ya na ye adwuma nti ye be kan say ye pono de ye bia to ye be go so no makasa ene enchechire mu mse ne ma bi wo ha ya na nti ase bi nya adwuma etime ma position say ba be go so no makasa ne afa ya toto ne amase ne be ya ne hawo no edisia no na yina ya to aso ne ayi adwuma se ne sese ye no fa ya rehye mu se ne ma besesa ende sika so monko ipack ye kan ya mo moko e kwan ye fa so no sa kwan na ne be fa so e nkasa kuru ya ene nti ase sese ye nya
titina ni the National Peace Council Reverend Dr. Ernest Adujemfi and one so din semu etudwa na afia mu no chocho for the ma NPP amonyuku no Ura Justin Fodua Kodua Frempon enso kasa ya wo kirem se ensemu a NDC titina ni Ura Johnson asiedu nketia dia tudwa no panyini no wankasa yie
de hamene se kan ni obitima kase omo na du omo san aka assembly nanso so eneme no kase Peace Council National Peace Council bejoku a ya do masuo se omo hwe parties ho kutahudie no omo hwe se oman no asundwe wo mu no ebetina so akoso omo free meeting a NDC foko eto bi bedu okwa no moto IPAC Electoral Commission hwe abato so the IPAC meeting NDC foko na otu ya Krampo National Security Council National Security Coordinator or Ministry every meeting a NDC for the reps ekoye
chocho for the ma NPP amonyuku no Ura Justin Frempon Kodua na nsemu yi wodi etudwa nsemu nyina no bededi afimu ewo sanabo so me no emu
na osanabo so me ye mu na ebepie mu ese edom kumaba no de ni Dr. Keselato Forcing eni Ura Richard Jakpa ensemu ambulance won ensemu a na omo chese o makoso financial loss to the state o mabo maineka kopie mu wo court no na wo mo court de betu dwa se wajai wo mo ho engufi acquitted and discharged na sansem ni mu enenam so ema Attorney General Ora Godfrey Yebo Adame de betu edwa se nani nye sade court no si ebu a asem no
na sansem kro no ho no akoto tena so na wadi wie na waye se wonumanyamfo atofo sin domkuma no ba no dani ne ho so sa bro benfom so bia ni no ho no enam so ema domkuma wonu asebedwe fie ne obuoshire wani je pato nyom ehuru yesaye on basebedwe fie wo chirim se yakopon ene adi wonumanyamfo atofo sin ho afofie sanse no omudi omunim so panyin no enfom so bia eni ne ho na anije ya chire no dom kese no bando dani urumanyamfo Alexander Afenyo Makensu kasa bi a wo chirim se na enyo mani so adi hune no mbotaye eni se urumanyamfo atofo so no betwe na bo so anampo de no beto adi afie na emom kwota tena asem no so no so opanyine no ne ho so sa abroba eni omo so dom kese no oma ndisifo etirim kwa
na yedi ewie ewo osanani mu no osana busumi ni mu na aban na Ministry of Health so betu dwa say wo fa nurse for empim dunum 15,000 wo mo ne midwives na asemi ebeto edwa no owura Isaac ofe ba wono enene amansan edi enkitanwa na panyina woda wonum ano wo Ministry of Finance wo chese as they say yaji wo mo ato wo manya clearance nti wo betimi afa nipa 15,000 asemi beto dwa pe ena graduate unemployed nurses and midwives womun so say ya ban de wo ye de ye ni ajepa na asemi beto dwa pe na dom kuma ne si amanyosam ya mode nipa 15,000 yi de ya amanyosam nti ena omo efa womo
awie we ye ensem bi beto dwa afi mu ewo sana abusumi ni mu ena ya bone bede ye de ababesum we afi ya shase kakra sa ena chese yedi ababedru hayi na ya shase efri afi ya shase ena chese ya tie efri hono mo shase efri January busumi mu February yerere mu a ene yedi August die ababesi nakopon ya adomo a nyame adomo chena yese die hia yebese wrem na efiri yebo ahenemi ene obubu busumi a bi wura December busumi mu no ni nyina so no yabo ne bede na yakaka ye ho saa kasebo mu aseda enko enfama Oson's chemist and the Oson's garlic capsules abadwa so garlic no yedrumu na so garlic ne so be nwane ho na wo do osia bomu a se be si ahye wadum ne se wani ansa se ye ka kire ne no na Oson's chemist for why ne kama ene onya bi no amena to yam guna ebeboa wo na asiesie wo be hu ne se ampa garlic no se na eso ewo mfa so nti ne wo fira di a na Oson's garlic capsules wa pebi na wo de akofie MTN was we dey for you everywhere you go. Hisense Ghana electrical appliances papa de omajusu eno no enti se refrigerator na chest freezer, air conditioner, television, gas cooker, electric cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, rice cooker, blender, enampo appliance bia open na do ani akire mu ewo Hisense Ghana so mu ye promo eti December ubo wura mu a obekọ na wanya ne ma ye papa na ne bo efo bowura showroom bia ben wo mu ne ko hwe wani so ade wo hwe ade nso so no na wo to ade obetima frɛ Hisense 0302 550 000 0302 550 000. Hisense was say everyday prices for everyday people. Dofo roofing system pay for neka say. Dofo penny for say so be board dan so a na wababeje nchense papa na odi aboard dan so na nchense ne good dan so na nya papa ntine du awie a na oda dem ho no mo tigegere aso bi na mo dan so nchense ne nya papa Dofo penny for say bra na beje nchense papa na fa kuru dan so na omo de hihye bia ba wo beje nchense no wana tese watu aka echiri na hihye papa ene ye de mawa na brepam no wonso di sika na ba na tese timi aboa na wonso timi aboa dan so na sa hihye woni Societe General Ghana na tese wodi sa hihye ebre wo obeje nchense no wana ya mawo finhia miensa ya spread de amawo tuane kakra kosisi obetu ade awe na wo mpewei opedian buy now and pay later. Dofo roofing system mpeni for sebra na ye behwe wo na opi ye kire kwan a East Legon ye ben Trinity Theological Seminary eho na behu yen Allied Force Station achipe ene ye wo obetimi afre 0543 661 716 anase 0243 328 180 Mesiasi subiem 0243 232 818 number chat 0308 040 096 offer Dofo roofing system mpanyfo and chance no unsa ebetumi ekabi. What you think roofing, you think Dofo. Budget cash and carry and the Blue James energy drink abajaso. Blue James energy drink in free tete. Ubisa na wo fi se wo breast energy drink be no unimu a obeka to say Blue James energy drink. Ne papa eyunti no be ye mfinsi aduru ni akiri ne Blue James energy drink eda so ewo Ghana dwaso. Na enye energy drink biasa keke wonom no na esiansi ni padua no edi ama wo. Vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12 nyina na bi wom. Taurine enu guarana ewo mu ebeboa wo na chese ma wa hoɔden no esiansi ni padua no na edi ama wo. Enye ya no mu die ni bia cafe nu kwa obe no wiase konya akira ma ne ni bi nie. Enti si wodofo bi yare na obehia energy drink di ama no a na waji Blue James energy drink. Eboa esisi mema enti wo ye adwuma na hoɔden na ba fom a Blue James energy drink na wakope bi na wodi agu ni padua no mu. Ne dodo mu a na wafre budget cash and carry 0208 128 190 0208 128 190 and I say 0550 010 000 0550 010 000. Raoul's Pharmaceuticals and the High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash abadwas wo your ban wo sisi ho obesisi ho a High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash abeboa na amawonso wo hunu se wo your besima na enye duro bia na wo bae so di sisi ho eno ntina Raoul's Pharmaceuticals wo the High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash aba edi amama so onya bia beboa wo ama hunu die ho nsem no atumi afa ne ntoma pa edi efra na sebi enka bi ba himfie ho na nhyeda nyanika na asa wo ho kekaw asenso bi gu a wani nje ho a konokope High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash na fasisi ho na be hu ni se ampa enema bi di adanse enema besesa ama wonso no waye obesima oba se bi ko ficha oti yawo ene oba wo fichiri ko no nyina no enhyɛ dam ba yie no High Lady Virgin Mixture enso odwa so nya bi na no no mu a ebeboa na eduwa kagina mu yie pa ne dodo mu a na wafre Raoul's Pharmaceuticals ewa homatrufo iso 0248 707 270 0248 707 270 and I say 0200 887 088 0200 887 088 when you make ebeso ya seneka sibui ya de ebesomwo akenkanfo eyeme Sadat Mohammed Mene
akosia sapon yama mumuniti a adehye nyame adomo a efiri ochena ekono nso yebese ehyiam.
Tune it in, turn it up.